Hey, folks, this is Brian Blessing. Hope you're enjoying the Hockey Betting Podcast. We have a couple chuckles, try to get you a lot of winners. Check out the hockeybettingpodcast.ca. We got a number of books that have joined up with us and have incredible sign-up offers for you to play hockey with that first deposit. Get on board. Go to the hockeybettingpodcast.ca. Click the link, sign up, and have some fun with us.
You're listening to the Hockey Betting Podcast with your hosts, Brian Blessing in Las Vegas and Cam Stewart in Toronto. This is the Hockey Betting Preview for Monday, April 1st, 2021. And now live from Las Vegas, your host of the Hockey Betting Podcast, Brian Blessing.
All right, folks, here we go. It is the Hockey Betting Podcast. We invite you to check out the website, thehockeybettingpodcast.ca. Brian Blessing in Las Vegas. Cam Stewart is in Mississauga, and we are ready to rock and roll. Two developments. The Sabres won a game, and Arizona and Colorado just scored again.
Yeah, you say, hey, Brian, isn't it great when you win a bet in the first period? I remember we were doing another show last night. You're like, hey, that one's in the book. That one's in the cookie jar. And
over 5.5, 5-2 after one.
Exactly, alternative puck line. And
honestly, you talk about occasionally. I mean, it's not, all the time, but we've identified a bunch this year. I mean, that's just flat out a horrific number. I mean, the way Colorado's going right now. How do you make that number 5.5? Honestly,
no, I've been noticing too, Brian. A lot of these early games, they're popping up 6 and 6.5s, and they're bad numbers. It's actually funny. Like the books are they're confused. Like they're having meetings and going, what are we doing with these totals? And look what happened in that Minnesota game the other night. It was a nut under, as you say, and all of a sudden, boom, you got this. You got late goals. Minnesota scores with 12 seconds left, 4-2. They popped that thing to 5.5, right? So you say it, man. Like it's absolutely crazy right now. But there's been some 5.5s that we shake our head at, and the first thing I do is, how am I getting roped in here? How am I falling into the trap? But you got to just stick to it, Brian. And you said it. Like my favorite game is the Colorado Arizona over. It was over before it even started. I love those games. I wish every day was like that.
And since we last convened very quickly, let's move forward. But we did say this, that when Ullmark returned, there was no way Buffalo was losing 18 in a row. If that kid's the goaltender, they're probably, as nuts as this could sound, if he's the goalie, they're probably close to 500 during those 18 games. I'd say probably, maybe
say they win 5 or 6 games.
I'd say
what I'm thinking.
All right, say 6 and 12. But I mean, you're not losing 18 in a row when that kid's the goalie. And the other night, I mean, they had a 3-0 lead. Thompson misses the empty netter, and of course the Flyers tie it and win it in overtime. Anyway, so that nonsense is over. We'll see what they do now, how big a fire sale it is at the deadline. But the bigger takeaway for me, other than, and by the way, maybe the Sabres now, the heat's off. Maybe there's some underdog opportunities for them. The real telling thing for me is not the fact that the Flyers lost to them, Cam. They should have lost both. But the 9-0 loss to the Rangers, something is wrong with Philadelphia.
Oh, no. Philadelphia's fade material going down the stretch, Brian. We talk about it. They got rid of Gottsdasbear. I know, guy at 11 points, just not good defensively. We talked about their whole defense. Provorov, he's taken a step back. Everybody, Braun, Sanheim, all these guys, they're offensive guys. They don't play any defense, and their goaltending's been brutal. Elliott's been hung out to dry. Carter Hart's got no confidence. They sit him 2 games, and you said it. I was on Buffalo both games. I'm still pissed off we didn't win the first game. Would have came back to them the second game. They should have won both, and they were plus 170, plus 180, all sorts of crazy stuff. Had the puck lines and everything else, regulation, Buffalo. Hey, Brian, the question is, can they keep the train rolling? I'll tell you one thing. We'll get to that game, but I'm not betting the Rangers at minus 200 and change against Buffalo. No way.
We'll go ahead. We're there right now. It's the third game on the rotation.
Yeah.
But, okay, so now come on. Now, seriously, come on. The Rangers are minus 280 in Buffalo. It's back-to-back nights. The Rangers were sitting there. They're waiting for them. Yes. Okay, many things. And the Sabres, awful. That's insanity to me. What are they telling you? I mean, if Ullmark's playing, he can steal the game.
I agree. If Ullmark's starting, Buffalo might make the card. If it's Tokarski, I'll probably stay away from the game or touch the over. You've been good with the overs. The thing about the Sabres is they're going to give up goals, but they're scoring goals too. You saw these games against Philadelphia. They popped 6 in, Brian. The other night, they're up 3-0. They lose 4-3 in a heartbreaker, right? So this is the thing. Like, if you're going to pop this total at 5.5 or 6 or anything along, like, what's the total right now? Is it 6?
6.
It's not 6.5, even at 6. Rangers score goals, Buffalo score goals. This game's 4-4-3, 4-2's a push, over. And I'm looking at Buffalo. I'm just going to check these. We'll get the goaltender stuff now. It's nothing's ever confirmed, and things can change in a couple games. But if it's Ullmark, yeah, I think I have to go back to Buffalo at that point.
Ullmark's been off for
exactly.
We're not worried about him playing back-to-back nights.
Look at the guy. The guy's got a .920 save percentage. This is the Buffalo Sabres, Brian. How many games have they won this year? 7. Have you seen Ullmark is 6-5-3? So they've won one game.
Well, what I tell you, if he's playing, they're around a 500.
They've won one game without Ullmark. So, yes, I'm with you, buddy. I'm with you.
All right. The other one, this is a big number. I mean, listen, Florida's surrounded by some really bad weather. I mean, they got hurricanes on one side and lightning on the other. I mean, but they're right there. Florida's in first place, tied for first. I don't think Quinfield's the kind of guy who's going to let them take these guys lightly. They beat them 4-1 the last game. But, Florida's sitting there going, hey, we got a real shot here. I don't think they're taking these guys lightly.
I agree. And, right now, Thomas Greiss is projected. This guy's got a save percentage of .888. He's just horrible. When you see a goals against average in today's NHL at 3.42, that's I don't even know what to say.
Hey, buddy,
let me throw it up on yourself. I'm all over the Panthers tonight.
Okay, well, let me tell you something. I'm seeing, and either way, I'm seeing Calvin Pickard.
Yeah. Well, that's okay. I'm on left wing lock. I see Greiss projected. So I will say this about Pickard, though. He's been good. If you watched the last game, you remember the Calvin Pickard tour you told me in Vegas? Hey, everybody, I'm Calvin Pickard. Come watch me be the third string goalie.
First, for those that maybe are new, real quick, Golden Knights, when they came into the league, Bill Foley had all these designs on being the team of the Rockies, too. And I'm like, well, Colorado's already there, guys, just in case you didn't know. but they hopped on a bus and went up to Idaho and Montana and whatever, and they made the rounds. And in that first year, Calvin Pickard was one of the 2 or 3 players that went on the bus trip. The bus trip came home and they traded him to Toronto. so every time they did that the next summer, we're like, is there the Calvin Pickard Memorial cutout in one of the seats?
Hey, good for Calvin Pickard, though. I'll tell you one thing.
Hey,
you said Bernier, because Bernier is probably going to get traded, right? And that's what Detroit's looking at now. They'd be idiots not to get rid of somebody. Thomas Greiss is horrible. Nobody wants him. So Pickard's been good. Bernier could go to a team that needs goaltending depth. So they're going to give Pickard a long, hard look. He's going to be the backup goaltender and start a lot of games for Detroit. He's been better. But you said it about Florida. This is an opportunity, and Detroit's beat them earlier on in the year. I don't like the price, but yeah, you take them, Brian. You do the old -1.5. I'll do the regulation. I'll put them in parlays too. And I like Florida to beat Detroit probably around I'm not sure if the game's going over, though. I like a 4-1 type of hockey game.
This is a weird one. Washington's at the Islanders. Islanders have lost 2 in a row. Trotz is a good coach. The problem is since Lee's been out, obviously, that they're already offensively challenged without him. Washington comes in here. Basically, they're telling you dead pick game here, -20 Islanders totals 5.5. It's a tough one, man. I don't know that it's on my dance card. I think it's so evenly matched.
I agree. I would not be taking the over in this game. I looked at the Islanders. Washington owns them this year. For me, it's Washington or nothing, and it's going to be nothing because I don't really trust them. But Washington blew that game against the Rangers. They're going to be in a bad mood. The Islanders, I don't trust.
That's the one thing. The Caps had won 3 in a row, and they had scored 4, 5, and 5 goals in those 3 games. Then they lose to the Rangers 5-2. Wilson was going nuts, and I think they'll have a stone in their shoe. You know what? I mean, it's always tough with an Islanders game. But clearly, the Caps are scoring goals at the moment. Maybe a slight consideration to over 5.5.
Yeah, I don't mind that, and I'd lean. I have a lean in the game. I haven't bet it, but I like Washington, and I don't bet against the Islanders very often, but I wouldn't be taking them in this spot. It's the Capitals and the over if we're going to bet it, Brian.
Tampa Bay is 290 against Columbus. Cam, let me just tell you this: Columbus had lost 1, 2, 3. They'd lost 4 in a row,
yep,
including 2 games in Detroit. but then they beat the Lightning 3-1. Now, the Lightning could have a stone in their shoe and step on their neck. You know what? There's just something about Columbus is Tampa Bay's kryptonite. That number is, Tampa's this and Columbus is here. Let's make them 290. Well, Columbus plays these guys really tough, Cam.
They do, and I want nothing to do with this game. I think Tampa Bay is going to come back, but I have the warning sign in that. You said it. And some teams, Brian, what do we know? Every time the Islanders play Pittsburgh, Pittsburgh wins.
Tampa Bay won the cup last year, Cam.
Yeah.
The year before, they were a record-setting team. Columbus swept them into playoffs.
Exactly.
Tampa Bay was life and death to beat Columbus in an earlier round last year. The collective sigh of relief. Tampa Bay won the cup last year when they beat Columbus.
I agree.
The other teams were cakewalks. And the collective exhale when they beat Columbus, that was the key to them winning a cup.
I couldn't agree more.
And remember the first game, what was that, 5 overtimes? If Columbus would have won that first game, they may have won a series.
You're so right, buddy. Columbus just owns there's certain things that, what do we know about hockey, Brian? When Ottawa plays Toronto, it's probably going to be a close game and you look at the dog. Islanders, they get thumped by Pittsburgh. There's just things that repeat time and time again.
The one with no rhyme or reason, remember, it was just ridiculous, like the number of the Sabres for years against the Sharks.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like 17-1 or something.
It's like, what?
Or more than that. It was even more than that. All right, anyway. I mean, Columbus has a puncher's chance is the point.
I agree. I'm not taking Tampa Bay, not in parlays.
This one was on my card. It's already been played, and that's Pittsburgh and Boston. Boston is $1.25. The total on this game is 5.5, under 20. I played the over last night for this game, and here it turns out it's going to be Casey DeSmith and Dan Vlader. Now,
Darth Vader's back. Love it. Was actually.
I mean, the guy's only played 2 games. The goals against is 1.50.
Yeah, he's all right.
Well, that looks great, but I mean that's also a function of who you're playing in front of. And honestly, I don't even know what 2 games the guy played. He may have played Jersey for all I know. But I like the over.
I also like your Mr. You're Tom Total. I'm Sammy Sides, and I like Pittsburgh in this spot. I think Pittsburgh has been better than advertised. I'm just going to take them, Brian. They're a slight dog. Every time Pittsburgh and Boston play, it's a tight game. You're going to give me these guys as a dog in this match. Not my favorite game on the card, but I like it enough to play it, and I agree with you. Actually, Brian, I'm looking at some places. We're getting plus money on the over, like over 5.5 plus 107. That's nuts. I'm with you. I think you have to do it. I'll take the over, and I like the Penguins in this spot as a dog.
I might be stepping in front of a minibus here, a minibus.
Yep.
And basically, as far as we've gone so far, I'm saying to you might want to call the butcher. But Montreal or Ottawa's played 5 straight unders, but Montreal come out of the gate against Edmonton like their hair was on fire, shot out of a can. I mean, these teams. I mean, our new angle. 5 years from now, when when the whooping cough pandemic's here, or whatever the next one is, teams coming off a 10-day layoff, play them.
We might not have hockey in 5 or 10 years the way things are going. Well, I just hope the world doesn't end right now with a whooping cough pandemic. That's great.
No, I mean literally, yeah.
Seriously.
5 years from now, with hockey players skating around with masks on.
Yeah, like with astronaut things with just like a couple holes, like a big goldfish bowl over their head with we'll drill you some holes.
No, but they're doing the face. They're doing the face up. The face ups. The face up, and
I'll tell you one thing, buddy. This is the angle we take. We were on Montreal against Edmonton that game, and I actually bet it, and I felt smart because everyone's like, take Edmonton because of the COVID. It's the opposite. Montreal had time to practice, and you alluded to that on earlier programs. This is the letdown spot, though. These guys feeling good after beating Edmonton. I'll tell you one thing. It's Ottawa or nothing for me. You think I'm laying $2 and change with the Montreal Canadiens? No way. Ottawa's been rested, too, Brian. They haven't played in a while. When was the last time the Senators played? It's got to be at least a few days. Because I haven't seen them on the card. So I tell you, beware.
Beware. Their last game was no, you're right, buddy.
I'm thinking like Saturday or Sunday or something.
March 25th.
That's over a week. That's a week ago. March 25th.
It's Ottawa. Ottawa.
What is this schedule doing? Oh, because was it something to do with the COVID? They had somebody next? I don't know. I will tell you this, Ottawa getting that kind of price and having a week off and Montreal coming back and feeling good about beating Edmonton, screw that. It's Senators or nothing. Even I'll take a look at the +1.5 too. I'm not betting Montreal. No way, no how.
Now, and I'm trying to think what I had in that game. I think I may have had you know what I did? I did over 1.5 in the first period.
Yeah.
So I was watching the game the other night, Carolina and Chicago. Let me tell you something. Chicago bottled these guys up. I love Carolina. I guess Carolina, I missed most of the first period, but by the time I got into it and started watching the game, they said Carolina had thrown the sink at them. Like they were just all over them, odd man rushes left and right, and whatever adjustments they made after the first, Carolina couldn't even dump the damn puck in. The one thing I'll tell you here, Carolina's laying $1.60. Chicago, all of a sudden, look at the schedules, look at the standings. Carolina, we love big picture. These are playoff games now for Chicago because all of a sudden, Cam, hey, we're fine. All of a sudden, Nashville goes on a 6-game Tootsie Roll, and Chicago's going, oh, my God. And they got Kirby Doc back. Watch out for Chicago here to go on a little mini run.
I agree. I had Chicago the last game against Carolina. I felt smart because they took them in Columbus, smart. 2 big dogs. Sometimes, Brian, I as you say, I bet too many games, and I was taking the Sabres at like +3.5 when they were getting murdered. But hey, sometimes we do what we do. I think Chicago's dangerous, but the only issue that I have is Carolina losing to Chicago last game. They do have the talent to win. I don't know what to do with this game. I think people are blindly going to bet the over. I don't know about that. The last game, it was a lot more defensive than people think. I might have to pass this game because I don't want to bet against Chicago.
All right. So
what do you think? What do you like in that one? Because Carolina should win, but I really don't want to lay the juice. I don't trust them on the puck line.
I don't trust the goaltending either way.
Yes,
it's not for me. I mean, I went in the other night and I got my head handed to me. But I mean, I tip my hat to what Chicago did. Now, does Brind'Amour make adjustments from what happened, or has Chicago figured something out?
Maybe that's the thing. And you know what? It's not going to get my money. Sometimes we just have to sit back, relax, and there's other things that we like. I don't need to bet every damn game on the card. Baseball starts on Thursday too. That's the thing.
Lord, please.
Another sport in the rotation. Excellent.
All
so
right,
we will have. I'm going to pass on this game.
All right, now this one. Dallas.
You could know it. The Dallas Stars are dead to me. I hate this team. I hate everything about Dallas. Every time I take them, they'll lose in a shootout or something stupid when I need them in a parlay. They're bad. And the thing is, they're favored all the time. Nashville's on a heater, and they're the dog in this game. It's Nashville or nothing for me. Sorry. What do you think? How do you bet Dallas, even though they're probably due for a win?
Well, what I would say to you, and everything you said is right. But again, so much of this year, and I think every year, Cam, but it's magnified this year, is the situational handicapping crap.
For sure.
Okay. Dallas has lost 3 in a row. You're right. They are not good. Nashville has won 6 in a row. They're feeling their oats. But here's Dallas, who really, if you go back 3-4 weeks ago, they're sitting there going, okay, our season's still breathing. We got a boatload of games in hand on Chicago. Let's go. We can catch them. Well, the problem is Nashville's part of that equation now.
I know.
Columbus is part of that equation. And right in the way it's going right now, it's looking like it's Nashville. So Dallas is sitting here 7 points behind Nashville, but they have 4 games in hand.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. Dallas has to be coming into this game tonight like
this is a playoff game.
Season is on the line.
Yeah, but that's the thing. They should have been thinking about the season on the line the last time they played.
Think
about this. I know, Brian. You're right. Nashville is probably going to win. My first instinct is Dallas. But here's the thing. Every time I take Dallas, it's Nashville's got Dallas's number. Dallas had a 2-goal lead. They piss it away and lose. They had another 2-goal lead. They go to overtime. They lose. They can't win a shootout. They can't beat this team. They take leads. They give up leads. Know what they are? They're a horrible front runner. They don't know how to hold the lead and take a team out, right? And I almost like taking these guys. Know what they're good at? Coming back sometimes against good teams like Tampa, and then you get them at a +800 live. But I will say this, Dallas should win the game, but this game is not being bet.
The one thing, let's move on. It's the only 5 on the card. There's an actual 5s up there.
Over? You like the over? I don't know. I can't step in front of Saros right now.
Yeah, you know what? I think you can make a strong case a stronger case for Nashville, but I just situationally,
I agree with you.
I'm like Dallas has got to say, if we lose tonight, really our season, then we're a seller. I mean, they could.
I think they're a seller anyway, but I agree with you.
Automatically, all right. Wrap it up with this: Minnesota and Vegas. Vegas minus $1.60. Totals 5.5 to the under. For starters, Minnesota has Vegas's number. Vegas got whipsawed by the Kings. Didn't even show up in the first period. Made a big push. Let me tell you something. The Cal Peterson kid is playing lights out.
He is.
All right.
He is.
Minnesota has Vegas's number. They have since they came into the league. The total in the game is 5.5. And this is a low number for a home Vegas game. Vegas, what's now Vegas at home? Their record's it's stupid. They lost only their, what the hell is it? They lost only their third game at home last night. They're 14-3-1 at home.
Here's what you do though. I have a tough situation with this game. Well, Vegas, I still think is better. They lost to the Kings. They're going to be pissed. Minnesota's got swept by S.J. Sharkey. Chomp, chomp. So what do you do here? You got two angry teams. Minnesota plays Vegas tough. They're getting a nice price. But Vegas, isn't Vegas going to be upset after losing to the Kings?
Yeah, well,
leeway, right? That's the thing. Minnesota's getting desperate, maybe, to get it back on track.
If our production budget was bigger, I'm telling you, we'd be playing soap opera music, Cam. I told you this.
If we had a budget, yes.
I told you this weeks ago. Yes. This thing is going to rear its ugly head again. Leonard is back.
Yeah.
They threw him into back-to-back games at Columbus, and I think Fleury may have thrown some grease on the skids they were trying to put out there. He won the back game. Had he lost back-to-back games up at Colorado, they could have sat there and said, well, you went 2-4 against Colorado, and they want the younger guy, Leonard, big picture.
Yeah, they do.
They desperately want Leonard to be the goalie, and here's Fleury playing at a Vezina-like level. Since Leonard has returned, Fleury's given up 4 goals at least in his last 3. So now Leonard jumps in tonight. I'm telling you, this
the over.
I would probably lean to the over.
Minnesota's going to score some goals, and Vegas. I watched Minnesota play. They're not the same team they were a couple weeks ago against San Jose. They just don't have that crispness to their game right now. It's like they're going through the motions. They got desperate at the end. It was too late. I don't know if I could take Minnesota. I understand where you're coming from. Oh man, this is tough.
Let me ask you this for starters. Winnipeg, Minnesota's got 22 games left, entrenched in third in the West. They're going to make it, right? I mean, we trust them way more than St. Louis. They're going to make the playoffs.
Yes, they will.
And as of today, Vegas fell out of first place.
Yeah.
Right? So now this would be the first round matchup. I think this is about message sending, too, for both of these teams.
Yeah, I don't like to lay it with Vegas. I just think they're better than Minnesota. I think Leonard, too, he sees an opportunity with Fleury playing poorly the next game. Maybe he stands on his head. I don't know. I like 5.5.
They've only lost 3. They're 14-3 at home, Cam. So, and they're coming off a loss. Minnesota's going to give them a mittful here. I think Minnesota certainly has a shot, but I mean, again, they've only lost 3 games at home. I think if you're playing this game, you really should play the total. And
I agree. I'm going to lay off the side.
It's going to be Leonard tonight. I've got to believe
it's going to be Cam Talbot probably.
Oh, good gravy! It's Talbot, not the other kid.
The other kid played last night.
They used to light Cam Talbot up when he played with the Oilers.
Here's the thing about Cam Talbot: he's actually playing better. But I know Cam Talbot too.
Yeah, but he's playing better with Minnesota.
Exactly.
Who are you playing?
Exactly. I know the Flames are a train wreck with their defensive system. He got exposed, but Vegas also has a lot of snipers, so it could be a long night for Cam Talbot. Over.
All right, there you go. So let's get it to Friday here on the HockeyBettingPodcast.ca. Check the website out. Click the links on the books with the introductory offers. Jump in, sign up, play along. Washington and Jay-Z. Washington is coming off the game with the Islanders. Obviously, we don't know the result of that, but Jersey will be sitting there a little fresh back-to-back nights, and they're catching, at least on the suggested opener, they're plus $1.40. Coming off, how about this, Cam? Coming off a win, a 1-0 win against the Bruins and getting a
heartbreaking loss.
A heartbreaking loss, but they obviously played the Bruins tough. I mean, a lot of things say, hey, give Jersey a kick here. But
I agree. I will. I think I will give Jersey a chance here against Washington. Washington on back-to-back, also playing a team like the Islanders. That's not good for them coming to the next game. The Islanders find ways to wear you down. I think New Jersey's just sitting there pretty. We're getting a nice price. I would look at the Devils in this spot. Their younger players are stepping up, and I see a little bit of value with the Devils.
This next game, Winnipeg and Toronto. I mean, and he's kind of like that goth creature anyway. You talk about Jekyll and Hyde with this Winnipeg team. My God.
Yeah. They look awful one night. They're only great the next.
They're 5-5 in their last 10. They look horrible, then they look great. They're horrible, then they look. But I mean, they're only 3 points behind the Leafs. Do we come back with them in a revenge spot?
You do. They played Toronto tough, and I watched that game against Toronto. Toronto also got Jack Campbell played absolutely fantastic. He's been a godsend for this team, and well liked in the room, and nobody's talking about Freddie Anderson, right? And Hutchison, he'll come around. As you say, water finds its level. Campbell's the guy, but here's the thing: Winnipeg's going to be in a real bad mood. They had opportunities in that game, they screwed up. They're going to be angry. You're getting this team as a dog in a revenge spot. They've beaten. I prefer to take them when they're in Toronto, getting a massive price, but at home, I think they'll do enough. Like right now, you look at both dogs, Jersey and Winnipeg. I think one of them definitely wins. I wouldn't be surprised if both won.
All right. Listen, they don't like each other, and there's intensity in the Battle of Alberta, and McDavid will be in a bad mood because, oh, my God, he lost $5,000.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Timbits for the neighborhood. No Tim. Sorry, Connor. No Tim Hortons run. Yeah, you're out 5 dimes. Who cares? Nice fine, $5,000 to a professional athlete.
You watch. He should have been suspended. It
was a high, dirty elbow. I thought it was a butt end at the end of it. I'm not going to defend Connor McDavid. I think he's one of the best players in the league, but it was dirty play. It was a dirty play.
You watch the play.
It was dirty.
No, probably going to come out today at some point. Chandler Stevenson hit the Bjornfoot kid. I don't know if you saw it, Cam. We were doing a thing when it happened last night. He just went into the corner and he looked at him, and the kid turned, and Stevenson looked at him coming in, and he just looked at him and fired an elbow, smashed him right in the face and his head into the glass. He's going to get 2-3 games. Well, McDavid was trying to do the same damn thing.
I know.
I mean, are these things based on results that this kid was bleeding and wobbly going to the bench, and because Kona Kami's not in the hospital, McDavid gets paid, gets a $5,000 fine? What a joke.
It is a joke. I'll look at Edmonton in this spot. It's low juice, $1.30. I lean that way against Calgary. I think Calgary's fraudulent. And actually, Brian, this game, what's going on here? Is it going to be even played? What's happening with Vancouver and the Calgary situation?
I believe the problem was Vancouver.
Oh yeah, I understand that, but Calgary was there. Okay, no, you're right.
Calgary appears okay. They got out of Dodge. They got out of there.
Edmonton.
All right. Listen, St. Louis, Colorado. Again, no, but hold on. Again, 5.5? I mean, are they watching?
Over. Oh, I know. I'm with you.
St. Louis are they watching these games?
I know.
I mean, Colorado has gone over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6-1.
So why are they posting 5.5s then? Why?
They're 8-1 to the over, and because they keep hanging bad numbers.
It's crazy. Like if you're in the sports book, does anybody know what's going on? It's a 6. It's a 6.
It's at least 6.
It's 6 minimum.
It should be 6 over 30 or 6.5 under 20.
I agree. Next game, San Jose and LA. I kind of lean. Here's the thing about the Sharks feeling good about themselves after beating Minnesota. LA's playing good hockey, Brian. It's basically a pick 'em. I lean Kings. Hello.
I kind of do too. You know what? Well, I'm telling you what you do with the Kings, I believe. And it's back-to-back nights. No, it's not back-to-back nights. Tell me it's Peterson. If it's Peterson, it's the Kings. It is. Right, the Peterson kid, Cam. He's playing lights out.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think Cal
Peterson's and by the way, it's going to be Dubnyk, 3-9-2.
Yeah. I'm with you, man.
Peterson is playing great.
He is. I'm on the Kings. It's that simple. I like LA.
And then the get out game. All right.
Anaheim. Here's the thing about Arizona. I don't think they're very good. They've been doing it with smoke and mirrors the whole time. You're giving me Anaheim as a small dog. They already play this team tough. If Gibson starts, I'm all over Anaheim.
Well, I thought this was going to be easy, and then the last time Arizona played, I had the over 5.5 against Colorado. It was 5-2. All right, but prior to that, everything Arizona had been doing. But, yeah, well, part of it is they're playing St. Louis, who's a bunch of pukes right now, and Minnesota plays the low octane style of game. I'd still kind of lean to the over. The one thing I would say to you, buddy, is we got to watch Anaheim here. Is it a fire sale? I think there's a chance. The problem is the dollars. But I mean, they should say to Getzlaf, look, man, we're going to let you go have a shot to win a cup. Go. We get something for you. Come back here and we'll re-sign you. You know, do they move Getzlaf? Do they move Raquel? All these guys, half of them are looking over their shoulder. Are we out the door in the next week?
Yeah, but the thing is, you're also playing like you're a professional athlete. You want to go to a spot, right, Brian? You're playing your buns off. Arizona, on the other hand, they're too wishy-washy. Hill got lit up the last game. Rant has been better. I just don't have faith in Arizona with any type of price. So for me, I'll look at Anaheim, maybe even the over in that game. Like this one could be one of your sneaky overs.
Yeah, no,
I don't know. You're right.
I think the problem is it's the get out game, but it's not one I'm running to play. It's there.
Yeah, I'm gonna bet. You know what? We bet on every other game. I lean Anaheim, but pass.
All right. Well, hey, there you go. So what we'll do then, we'll come back with you, and we'll have a weekend and a Monday edition for you in our next podcast, and that will be available to you late Friday night, early Saturday morning.
You got it, brother. Well, good luck, Brian. Hope you win some money. Hope we win some on the links, on the frozen water, and I'm just happy we got off the schneid with the Sabres. It would have been nice if they took them out twice, but hey, good things around the corner, buddy.
Dude, I'm old enough. Do you remember the Wayback Machine, the 78s that would go real fast? That'll be us next week.
Yeah, no, I'm looking at the clock. I'm like, that was a long one today. Yeah.
All right, goodbye.
Yeah, exactly, brother. But yeah, next week we're going to be on speed dial. So.
Hey, folks, this is Brian Blessing. Hope you're enjoying the Hockey Betting Podcast. We have a couple chuckles, try to get you a lot of winners. Hey, we hope you like what you're hearing. And if you do, hit the subscribe button and give us a review, give us a rating. Most importantly, enjoy the hockey and keep coming back to the Hockey Betting Podcast.
The handicapping and sports odds information contained on this podcast is for entertainment purposes only. Please confirm the wagering regulations in your jurisdiction as they vary from state to state, province to province, and country to country. Using this information to contravene any law or statute is prohibited. The podcast is not associated with, nor is it endorsed by any professional or collegiate league, association, or team. This podcast does not target and is not intended for an audience under the age of 18. If you think that you have a gambling addiction, stop this podcast now and please seek help.
Gambling and betting on sports is a form of entertainment and should be about having a good time. But when done excessively, it may negatively affect other areas of a person's life, such as their physical and mental health, school or work performance, finances, and or interpersonal relationships. At the Hockey Betting Podcast, we're concerned about the addiction that gambling may cause, and for this reason, we encourage everyone to practice responsible gambling, an approach to gambling that helps you ensure that it remains an enjoyable activity. Here are the main principles of responsible gambling. Don't think of gambling as a way to make money. Always gamble with money that you can afford to lose. Set limits and stick to them. Never chase losses. Don't gamble when you're depressed or upset, and create a healthy balance. Always be aware of how much time you spend gambling or thinking about gambling. And do not allow gambling to cause you to miss out on time with family and friends or time spent on other activities you enjoy. By following these guidelines, gambling can be a good time and great entertainment. If you feel at any time that your gambling is taking away from important areas of your life, is causing you stress or depression, or is leading to financial losses that are beyond your control, please reach out for help. Learn more at responsiblegambling.org.